Hello, 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 everybody. You got it. That's right. This is QD's Talk Time, and you're listening to LaQuisha Blair, but you can call me Q. So I was just kind of sitting around talking things over with my fella. His name is D, which is where I got the QD's Talk Time. And I was just kind of thinking of something. So here's a question for you. Women, what is it that you do in private that you don't do in front of your man? Or, better question, women, do you blank in front of your man? So here's some of the things that I came up with. So the first one, and this is going to be a very graphic, I guess is probably the best word, very upfront, in your face kind of segment. I guess I should warn you about that. So let's just get into it. So women, do you fart in front of your man? I mean, okay, we all have those little moments where we pass gas and it's sort of quiet, but do you ever really let one go in front of your man? I'm telling you, it's so funny because, sometimes if you just let the quiet ones are the ones that smell the worst. And then if you just let it rip, it sounds terrible, but 99% of the time you don't ever smell it. It's just air. So, I don't know about you, but I've gotten to the point where I used to do that. I used to try to sit on the sofa and hold it in or let it go through the sofa cushion. Or if we're in the car, I would roll down the windows and go, "It's hot in here, isn't it?" and then that way they wouldn't smell it so much, just let some air, let the fresh air come in. Or if you are out and it's really noisy, then you can just let it go and especially if you're in a crowded room, then nobody cares. But what if you're by yourself and it's just you and your fella? Do you let one go? I mean, let me tell you, like I said, I used to be really secretive and I wouldn't do that. But this is how you know you're with your soulmate. When you can fart in front of them and they can fart in front of you and you just look at each other and laugh. I mean, it's the funniest thing. So here's the next one for you. You guys are going to have to send me a message. Let me know. Is this something that you do? I mean, or are you still trying to be really ladylike? Is it your first date, or you're still trying to in that get to know me stage and you just kind of try to keep it quiet? If you feel a little rumble in your tummy, do you let it go, or do you try to sneak it by and knowing he smells it just like you do? Which one do you do? Tell me about that. So here's the second one. Ladies, do you clean your nose in front of your man? And, here's the thing. I know there's some times where you get a tissue and you try to be really ladylike and you go in there and you clean it, and you may even take out your little pocket mirror or go to the bathroom and, look in the mirror. But what if you're in a place where you can't go to the bathroom and you just have this one little something in your nose that's driving you crazy and you don't know if it's a hair? And then when you try to use a piece of tissue and you say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry," and you use a piece of tissue, but you still can't get it. You have to go in there with the finger. Ladies, do you ever go in there with the finger to try to get that little whatever it is out? Maybe it's just a hair, but maybe it's a booger. I told you this was going to be one of those crazy segments. So you guys have to tell me, do you dig up in there to find it in front of your man? Well, I've done that. And let me tell you, I did not do that until I got with D. Again, this is how you know you're with the one that you love. You're with the one that you're meant to be with. Because if you feel comfortable enough to fart in front of him, if you feel comfortable enough to dig in your nose with the finger, not a tissue, but with the finger, because it's just way up there that you just can't get to it. Is that something that you guys do? Because I've gotten to that point where I'm with the one that I know he's it. Because I'm going to tell you, I've been married twice. I never did it with my first husband, never did it with my second husband. In the times that I've dated, never done it with anybody else. I mean, this is the point where I'm like, I just feel so comfortable. I feel like myself. And when you feel like yourself and you're not walking on eggshells, you're not trying to be this cutesy person that, you want them to know. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff that you just don't do, but why not? It's a part of life. They do it in front of us. They don't care. They will dig in their nose. They will, fart and then look at you like, what? I got to get it out. So you tell me. So here's another one. Do you scratch your privates in front of your man? Okay, ladies, here's the thing. Sometimes you get that little wedgie. And we do kind of walk and pull it out. We reach back there when we think nobody's looking. Somebody's always looking, but when we think nobody's looking and we pull out that wedgie. But sometimes there's an itch. And it's not like you have anything. It's not like you have some sort of disease or anything. It's just a little tickle, or let's say maybe your panties catches a hair. I mean, we're adults here. We're speaking out and we're talking the truth here. Maybe in the process of you pulling that wedgie, your panties got twisted and they pulled a hair, one of those little pubic hairs, and it kind of gave you that owie, and you just have to reach down there and scratch it and pull it and fix it. Do you do that in front of your man? Is that something that you do? Do you let him see you do that? Do you feel some type of way if he happens to catch you doing it? I mean, it kind of makes you like, wait a minute. Do I need to do this? Well, let me tell you, I have tried it. Several different, when it's happened to me, I've tried it several different times, like in the grocery store. It always catches you at that moment, when you're in a grocery store, when you're out in public, when you're walking, in the park, or, and you don't want to look like you have some sort of disease, like you have cooties or something crazy, But it's just that little twitch of an itch that just happens once in a blue moon, but it happens at the most inappropriate times. Like when you're out to dinner or you're on a date, heaven forbid, it's a first date. Oh my goodness, that's the worst. If it's a first date and you have that little twinge, and you try to pull how you try to pull your pants down, you pull your underwear down thinking it's going to go away, and it doesn't. And it requires you to itch it, to scratch it, those are the worst. So, ladies, do you scratch your privates in front of your man? Or let's say it's not even below the belt. Let's say it's up above the belt. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I'm heavy chested. So sometimes I have to adjust my boobs because they don't sit right in my bra. And, the nipple pinches up against your bra. So you have to fix that. I don't know. Maybe small chested women don't have this problem, but us big chested women, we do. Because during the course of a day, if you're bending over, or if you are, moving around, or you're doing yoga, or you're doing exercise or something, and they move, your boobs will kind of move within your bra. You have to adjust them to keep them from pinching, Like I said, maybe it's a big-chested women issue. Maybe it's not an issue with smaller-chested women. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me. Chime in. Send me a message and let me know. Do you have this problem where you have to adjust? And if you have to adjust, let's say you got dressed in a hurry and you just put your bra on and you didn't put it on right. And then as soon as you get out the door, you realize, I need to adjust so that they fit right in the bra. Do you do that in front of your man? Okay, let's say you have an itch under your armpit. Sometimes that happens. For me, not very often, but sometimes it happens. So let's say you are walking around with your man and you have this itch in your armpit. Do you dig up in your armpit in front of your guy? I mean, is that a thing? I've not had that happen yet in front of D. So I can tell you, but I have had to adjust my bra. I've had to adjust my boobs in my bra to make them fit right because they pinch when they're in there. So I have to fix it. So do you do that? I mean, I do that in front of him. Again, this is how I know he is the one, because I've never done that in front of anybody else. But, it's funny. The stuff that guys do in front of us, we don't do in front of them. It has to be this special guy, it has to be the one. Well, for me, D is the one, because I've never done this with anybody else. But, when you think about it, guys will reach down in their britches, in their pants, in their underwear, and adjust themselves from one side to the other, or they'll scratch, or, they do some of the craziest things that we don't do. And I guess they feel like, well, I'm with my gal and she's seen me naked. What more can there be? So you guys tell me, is this something that you do? Let's take a look at the next one. Pluck your chin hairs. Okay, this one is for the older ladies who, you're going through the change, going through menopause, that kind of thing, and you start growing hairs in places you never had hairs before. Like on your face, on your chin, your mustache, because some of us ladies have a mustache. Some of us ladies have chin hairs. Do you pluck your chin hairs in front of your man? Do you want him to know that you have chin hairs? I mean, it's so crazy, but the consensus is, no, we really don't want them to know that we have chin hairs. This one is a little bit touchy. I know the rest of them are kind of taboo. You don't fart, you don't pick your nose, you don't scratch your private parts. Unless you're with somebody who you feel completely open with. But in this case, I don't know, plucking your chin hairs is something really, really intimate because you want him to look at your face as being perfect. And if you have chin hairs down there, that's kind of like you're feeling a little unvulnerable, a little maybe I feel mannish kind of, and you don't want to feel that way in front of your guy. So, do you pluck your chin hairs in front of him? I know I do. And I'll tell you why and what happened. So I was sitting in my car, which is usually the place, I don't know why, but I see better in the mirror when I'm sitting in my car. I mean, I have one of those mirrors that, you can see it gives you like 15 times magnification on the mirror, so you can see everything like magnified. But something about the car, I can just pull down the visor and it has that little mirror and I can sit real close and I don't have to hold it and I can see everything. And so I just, pluck away. Well, one day he was in the store and he came out and he just got in the car and I was plucking my chin hair. Well, I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. So I just went ahead and did it. And then he was like, "You got a couple of chin hairs, honey?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was trying to get rid of them." And it was just okay. And that made me feel okay to do it. But not everybody can do that. So that's a question for you. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you do or if you have ever done. Here's another one, and this is going to be a good one. Do you poop with your man in the bathroom with you? Oh, this is a big one, because for some reason a lot of men think it's okay. If they go to the bathroom and they're in the bathroom pooping and they're, "Hey baby, come here a minute, I got a question for you," and they want you to come in. Well, women are very private. We don't want you to see that part of us. But guess what? I've done it. I haven't wiped with him in there. That's a little bit too, I don't want him to see that. But if I'm just sitting there on the commode and he comes in, I'm okay with that. It's kind of like you've seen him naked. So now he's seen me naked sitting on the commode, or at least with my pants down. But do you do that? Do you let your man see you sitting on the commode while you're pooping? Not only are you pooping, but it smells in there while you're doing it. Nobody's poop smells good. I don't care what you say. They have that spray now that you can put down in there, and I use that, so it's not so bad. But there's still some sort of a stench, It's not clean poop, you know what I mean? So is that something that you do? If, like I said, you may feel some type of way about that. If you're not that intimate with your significant other, with your partner, with your husband, for those married people, is that something that you do? Do you poop in front of your husband? It's not like you're going, "Hey baby, look at this." It's not like that. But if you're just sitting there on the commode while you're pooping, heaven forbid if you have to grunt or if it makes the splashy sound or if you've got a lot of gas on your tummy and while you're doing it and all of a sudden it just comes out. I know this is one of those crazy subjects, but I thought, what a better subject to have than to see, just to check and see how many people out there do these things with their significant other, their husband or their boyfriend, or, if you're a guy listening, do you do this in front of your girlfriend? I know we've been talking about women because I thought this would be a women's subject, but is this something that men do in front of their girls? Do you pick your nose? Do you scratch your privates? Do you shaving, that's nothing for men. Men do that all the time. Women like to see men shave. But do you poop in the bathroom with your lady in the bathroom with you? Is that something that you do? Do guys do that? I mean, I think most guys are comfortable doing that. I don't know about wiping in front of them. I would never do that. I would never wipe in front of I would sit there on that commode until my hiney end went numb, until my hiney until I couldn't feel my hiney anymore before I wiped in front of him. I wouldn't do that. But just sitting there pooping, yes, I would do that. I have done that. So, guys, girls, chime in. Let me know. I would really be curious to find out, is this something that you do? Okay, so do you dress or undress in front of your man? For me, this is a yes. I mean, he's seen me naked. He's seen me in my worst. So, yeah, that's not a biggie for me. But I know that there are some ladies out there who, because maybe of the era that they were brought up in, they will not dress or undress in front of their man. Maybe it is because of your background. Maybe it's because of your culture. Maybe you have a culture where that's not something you do. You don't dress and undress in front of your man. Maybe it's just something about you. Maybe you feel self-conscious about dressing and undressing in front of your man. Maybe you only want him to see you when you're clothed. And if you are naked, the lights are out. You know what I mean? Maybe it's that intimate time when the lights are out. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I've never had a problem with that. Here's what happened with me. And the reason I don't have a problem dressing or undressing in front of anybody. Because when I had my daughter, when I had my son, my mom was in the room, the doctors were in the room, that was fine. But then when I had my daughter, my mom was in the room and the doctors were in the room. And then they called more people in the room because I was at a teaching hospital. So they were like, do you mind if we get our students in here so we can show them how this goes? And I'm just laying there like, okay. So then they brought all the students that were doing rounds that day into the delivery room with me while I was giving birth to my daughter. And I was like, okay, so everybody's seen my hind end. How bad could it get? So that's what happened with me. And since then, I breastfed her, and I would be walking in the grocery store breastfeeding her, and I'd have a towel on, and because she had this really long, pretty hair, her hair was super long for her to be such an infant, and all people would see was her hair hanging out from under this blanket, and inevitably they would go, oh, can I see her? And they would pull back the blanket before I could say anything. And they were just, and a lot of times it was the women, of course. But what's so funny is they'd be standing there with their husbands and I'm exposed feeding my baby and the husbands are standing there with their mouths open. I had this one incident. I was at the grocery store and the baby kept crying. Amelia, she was the one that I breastfed, and she kept crying. So I had to breastfeed her to get her, to go back to sleep while my husband and I finished grocery shopping. So, I was very discreet. I, fed her and I had the blanket over me, and her hair was so long that it was hanging out from under the blanket. And the lady that was walking beside me, she went, oh my goodness, look at her hair. It is so beautiful. Can I see her? And before I could say anything, she whipped back the blanket And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were feeding her." But in her apology, she never put the blanket back over me so I could finish feeding her. She just was looking at her and talking about how pretty she was. And then her husband comes up because he was at another aisle. He comes over and he was like, "Oh my God, she's beautiful." In the meantime, he's staring at my boob. My husband has just walked off and left me because he's like, "You just don't care, so whatever." So he walked off and left me, and I'm standing there talking to this lady and her husband, and and he's standing there. He didn't say anything, but his mouth was like hung open, and she just politely reached up and closed his mouth and just kept talking like nothing happened. And I'm standing there like cracking up. I'm like laughing my hiney off. And finally, when Amelia finished breastfeeding and I, adjusted myself and put my blanket back over me and, wiped the baby's mouth, and that way she could see her. And so when she was able to see her, then she was like, "Oh, yeah, she's she's adorable," so on and so forth. And then she walked off. Well, I just kind of went on about my business, finishing up my shopping, and my husband was waiting at the end of the aisle, and he was like, "I can't take you anywhere." So after that, it's like, whatever. So yeah, I don't care if they see me dress or undress. I'm okay with that. But at the same time, those other intimate parts, the farting, the picking your nose, the scratching your privates, the plucking your chin hairs especially, and the pooping in front of your man in the bathroom while they're in there, those are things that I would never have done before. I would never have let my boyfriend, or even, back even when I was married, my first two husbands, that never happened. I never let him come in the bathroom. I would lock the door to keep him from coming in the bathroom while I was in there. And if he knocked on the door, I'd be, "I'm in here. You're going to have to go in the other bathroom." And of course, I'd hear him go stomping up the steps, to go to the, because the second bathroom was on the second floor. So he'd have to go upstairs to use the bathroom. But I just wouldn't do that. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. And in the relationship that I have now, I'm completely comfortable in doing that. And I think a lot of it has to do with knowing that you are with the person that you're meant to be with. So, okay, ladies, for those of us that wear hair extensions or wigs, have you ever let your man see your real hair or your real face? For those of you that wear a lot of makeup, I don't wear that much makeup. I might put lipstick on. I might put a little bit of mascara on. If I do that, I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed in that it makes my whole face look like I have makeup on, even though I don't. But, and I do wear makeup because, as I said, in earlier segments, I am a professional gospel singer. So when we go on tour, when we go do photo shoots, I'm fully made up. I have my makeup and my mascara and eyeliner and eyelash and blush and base and foundation and all that good stuff, lipstick, all of that on. But just everyday me, I have, I put on a little bit of lipstick, maybe a little bit of eyeliner, and that's it. I don't need anything else. So he's seen me with no makeup. When I take the extensions out of my hair is actually long, but when I take the extensions out of my hair, he's seen me that way before. So it's not nothing that I have to be ashamed of or feel bad about. But let me tell you, there was a point where I was always okay with people seeing my face. That's not an issue. But my hair, because at one point I had no hair. I had short hair. My hair has since grown long, and it's down to my shoulders now. It's actually past my shoulders. And I wear my hair, naturally quite often now. But before, I had an issue. I had a personal issue because I didn't want people seeing me with no hair. It's sometimes it's a medical issue. Maybe you've had something like chemotherapy or something, and it's taken out patches of your hair. Or maybe you have alopecia, like I have alopecia. So like on the sides, I don't have any hair, but you would never know it because of the way I fix my hair. I've learned to compensate. And I fix my hair in different styles that flatter me and don't take away from my appearance. And it's my natural hair. And sometimes when I wear extensions, I can fix my hair in different ways to where you'd never know. But a lot of women are afraid to show that side of themselves, because that is, our hair is our crown and glory. And that is a sensitive side to the ladies, And as far as men, men, if they're balding, they just shave it all off. Well, a lot of us women won't do that. That's just... That is obscene, absurd. We're not going to do that. But we will put extensions in our hair to cover it up. Or we'll wear a wig to cover it up. They call them protective hairstyles now. They've coined a phrase. It's a protective hairstyle to protect the hair that you have. Well, sometimes it's to protect your self-esteem because we all feel better when our hair is done, when we have this gorgeous mane on top of our head, whether it's long or short, doesn't matter, but when there's hair all over. There's so many women that suffer from alopecia. Recently we've heard in the news about Jada Pinkett Smith and the loss of her hair. She has patches where she was losing her hair, so she shaved her head. Well, she has a decent shaped head. Not everybody has a nice shaped head and would look right with no hair. I'm one of those women. My head does not look right with no hair, so I'm just going to manage and do the best I can. I have alopecia as well. I'm just going to manage. I'm going to work with what I've got, fix my hair a certain way, but I don't mind letting my man see me in my natural state. I don't mind that. Again, this is how you know you are with your soulmate, because I've never, even in my marriages, I never let them see me that way. Never. I would not show myself in my natural self. I don't know how else to put that. I would not let him see me with my hair undone and see the little bald spots that I have. I would never have done that. But I don't mind doing that now because I know he doesn't value that part of me. He values my heart. He values my kindness. He values my sensitivity. He values my educated mind. He values the person that I am on the inside, and he thinks that's beautiful. And because he thinks that's beautiful on the inside, it's beautiful on the outside. Even though he constantly tells me how drop dead gorgeous I am, I appreciate that, but it matters more to me that he believes that I'm a beautiful person on the inside as well. So, ladies, tell me what you think. Tell me, do you let him see you with your real hair or your real face or the lack thereof on either, with all your wrinkles and all your flaws? Do you let him see that? Okay, how about, do you let your man watch you shave your private parts? Like if you're shaving your underarms or your bikini area, or the other unmentionables, do you let him see you shave like that? I mean, shaving your legs, yeah, that's okay. But what about your private parts? Or are you one of those women that go to the salon and get waxed or stripped or plucked or whatever they call it, the Brazilian wax or whatever they do? Are you one of those women that do that? I mean, you tell me. I would be curious to know, is that something that you let your husband, your boyfriend, your significant other, do you let him see that side of you? Because if you do, that's an indication that you are with your life's mate, your soulmate. If you are comfortable enough that you can just be yourself and know that he still loves you, that he thinks the world of you, that he thinks you are the only person for him, even with all of your flaws, even though you fart in front of him, you pick your nose in front of him, you scratch your privates, you pluck your chin hairs or shave your mustache in front of him, you go to the bathroom and you poop in front of him. Not that you wipe. That's a completely different subject. I don't do that in front of anybody. That's just me and God. It's just me and God. That's all that needs to see that part. But do you sit down on the commode in front of him? Or is that things that you do? Do you let him see you without any makeup? Do you let him see you without any of your hair, your wigs, your extensions, in all of your flawed glory? Do you let your man see you that way? Hit me back. Let me know. I would be very interested to find out. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this subject? Tell me, what do you think? What do you do? If you're a guy, let me know. Has your girl ever done this? And if you hear a train in the background, I'm actually sitting outside. I wanted to get some fresh air, but I didn't realize there was going to be a train going by. So there's a train outside. But anyway, so let me know. Men, has your wife, your girlfriend, your lover, your significant other, has she ever done any of this in front of you? If she has, hit me back. Let me know. I would be curious. And here's what I'll do. If you will send me a message and let me know, I'll do a follow-up on this subject, letting you know how many of you has been open enough to do this and how comfortable you are that you're able to do this in front of your guy. So, or in front of your girl, or if the girls have been able to do this in front of you if you're a guy. So, let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to close this out by saying it has been a pleasure as always. I'm so happy that we're back at it. I want you to know I will not go away again. I just, it's just life. Life happens. And unless I lose my voice, I will be here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start a schedule. So let me just say this, because I've not said this before. I'm going to start a schedule and I'm going to release an episode once a week. Eventually I want to get it up to where I can do an episode twice a week. But we're going to do this episode every week and we're going to release it on a Friday. And so that means I'm going to record every Thursday so that it can be there on Friday mornings for you. That way you don't have to wait so late on Fridays to hear what's going on. You'll be up and about, and it'll be available to you first thing Friday morning. So that's going to be my pledge to you. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope I've made you think. I want you to please respond back to me so that I can do a follow-up episode with this. I think that would be really fun. And if you have ideas of things that you would like to hear me talk about, hit me back. Let me know. I'll be happy to do it. I mean, we'll just pick some crazy subjects and we'll do some real life stuff. Some stuff that happens to us and makes us go, okay? All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. God loves you. I love you. Keep looking up. Bye-bye.